Hello everyone, I'm Raven from Raven Comics, and today we will continue with the story of Flash and Professor Zoom after being defeated by Dr. Manhattan. Welcome to the Flash Museum. Normally, the museum is full of Flash's beloved fans and is dedicated to those who want to know Flash as we know him. But this time, we'll take a private tour. As the first lesson in history, I'll tell you about a name many of us know, Professor Zoom, also known as the Reverse Flash. He was many things to many people, but to Flash, he was a companion, an ally, his best friend. And this is his story. We begin with Barry Allen. We're at Star Labs. Barry has been examining the body of the Reverse Flash. Upon investigating, he realizes that he never actually died. Whatever happened to him only gravely injured him and slowed his recovery more than he's used to. Anyway, Barry knows that at any moment, we'll see the return of Professor Zoom. Jim arrives at the lab and asks why Barry is still working on this case. Barry says he wants to be very careful with it. Jim reminds him that Flash brought the Reverse Flash's body here several days ago. Barry shouldn't still be working on it. Gladys tells Barry that from now on, they'll handle the case, and if they find any anomalies in the body, they'll let him know immediately. Barry agrees to leave it to them since he was supposed to go out for dinner with someone tonight. Barry says goodbye, and Jim comments that when he entered the room, he saw Barry whispering to the corpse. Gladys suggests maybe Barry was talking to himself or taking some kind of notes. The scientists suspect Barry is hiding something. After all, he's Flash's friend, which is why he pays so much attention to this corpse. The scientists keep formulating their theories. Suddenly, we see a small red light in one of the Reverse Flash's eyes. After all, Barry was right. His enemy will soon return. Meanwhile, Barry gets a big surprise. His dinner turns out to be a surprise birthday party. Barry thanks everyone for coming. Then he asks Iris how late he was to his own party. She tells him no one is ever late to their own birthday. Forrest arrives and congratulates Barry. He says it's good to see him again, though he feels they've been drifting apart during lab nights. Forrest keeps talking, but Barry isn't paying attention. His mind is elsewhere. He didn't even remember it was his birthday today. Besides, he's not in the mood to celebrate. The man with the helmet, who saved Batman and Flash from being trapped in the Speed Force, was absorbed back to wherever he was trapped before. Batman thinks maybe the man was from another timeline and couldn't stay in this one. Flash thinks he might be right, or perhaps Barry wasn't his lightning rod. Someone else has to help free him. Jay Garrick knew him, but Barry wasn't able to save him. When Jay left, it felt like a part of Barry left with him. Thomas Wayne's final message to Bruce during Flashpoint was for him to stop being Batman and become a better father. Since that day, Batman has suffered like never before, and his mind has been in turmoil. Unfortunately, Flash hasn't been able to help him and feels responsible for everything Batman experienced that day. The new Wally is angry at Barry and hasn't spoken to him. Wally's anger stems from Barry not telling Iris that he's Flash. Maybe the kid is right, but Barry has kept his identity secret to protect her. That's not the only reason. Iris is one of the best women Barry knows, and he doesn't want to lose her. Barry's thoughts begin to spiral. In a vision, he sees Professor Zoom returning and killing Iris by piercing her head with his hand. The Reverse Flash has always been faster. Faster than Wally. Faster than Flash. In his next vision, Barry sees Professor Zoom destroying Wally West. One by one, Zoom kills everyone. Professor Zoom massacres all the party guests. In a blink, the Reverse Flash murders Barry's family and friends. All Barry can do is watch, powerless to stop him, not even in his visions. Once again, Barry is left alone. Professor Zoom killed Barry's mother to make him suffer. For years, he had no family. Now he's built a new life with a new family. Barry's vision is interrupted. His friends have been trying to talk to him all this time, but he's been ignoring them. Barry apologizes, saying he was thinking about a case. David interrupts, urging him to set work aside for this occasion. Everyone has pending cases, yet the entire forensic lab came here for his birthday. They put their personal matters aside for him. David asks Barry what's weighing on his mind. Radwell suggests maybe Barry is in shock from the surprise. Suddenly, Henry Allen, Barry's father, arrives. He asks for a moment alone with his son. This is the first birthday he's been able to attend since getting out of prison. Henry asks Barry how he's doing. Barry excuses himself without even looking at his father. He says he's happy to see everyone, but needs to step away for a minute. Iris follows him and asks if he's about to pull one of his stunts, leaving and not coming back. Barry assures her he won't do that. Before they can continue, another of Barry's friends arrives. Hal Jordan, pilot and space cop. For a long time, he's been a member of the Green Lanterns. Hal has saved the universe more times than Barry can count. It's not the ring that makes him one of the bravest and best men, but his heart. Hal wishes Barry a happy birthday and gives him a gift. After a few jokes, Barry says he's glad to see him. Hal and Iris introduce themselves. She says she's heard a lot about him, but needs a moment alone with Barry. Iris tells Barry that just because Hal showed up doesn't mean he's off the hook. Barry says he knows he's been acting strange, but promises it won't happen anymore. Iris tells him it's disappointing. Everyone is here for him, but it seems like his mind is somewhere else. Barry says he's had a lot on his mind lately, but it's nothing she needs to worry about. Hal quietly mentions there's an alien invasion happening and can't believe it's happening right now. Neither of them pays attention to him. Iris says she's used to being a little distant from Barry, but if he wants them to have a future together, it's time for him to tell her everything. Barry asks what she means. Suddenly, the conversation is interrupted. All the guests start running. Danton Black has arrived, shouting, "Where are you? Why are you hiding from me?" Danton Black, also known as Multiplex, gained the ability to create unlimited duplicates of himself after a nuclear explosion. Faced with this situation, Barry asks Iris to leave. This sounds like one of his typical stories, but he needs her to go home. She asks where he's going. Barry says he's helping evacuate the area and will continue their conversation once this is over. Barry asks Wally to take Iris home. Wally says they're no longer partners, and he won't take orders from Barry. Barry says it doesn't matter how mad Wally is at him. What matters is keeping Iris safe. As the civilians evacuate, Hal tells Barry it's time to take action. Both put on their suits using their rings. Barry doesn't like sending Iris and Wally away like that. But Iris is already suspicious. The trouble will start if she sees her boyfriend, Barry Allen, and her friend Hal Jordan together as Flash and Green Lantern. Danton Black finally finds what he's been looking for, a girl named Sally. He asks her what happened between them. Where did our connection go? Recently, he had an experience where he almost died. Thanks to that, he realized something he already knew. She's the one. Danton tells her that he can't live without her. Sally responds, asking how that could be possible when they only went out for drinks once. While the two of them talk, Barry and Hal take care of the duplicates. Hal mentions to Barry that it seems he's not the only one with relationship troubles. An annoyed Danton tells them to leave. He's having a private conversation. Flash tells Green Lantern that he'll share his love life after they take down the bad guy. After a brief argument and rescuing some civilians, Hal and Barry face the duplicates. Hal tells Barry that he's fast enough to save the girl, and Hal will clear the way. Meanwhile, Barry runs to save her. Hal jokes that at first, he was worried the party might be dull, but now he's changed his mind. Barry manages to reach the girl. After creating some distance, he tells her it's far enough. Then he asks why Multiplex is chasing her. She explains she met him at a nuclear science conference. He was charming, so she gave him her number, but that was it. Afterward, he wouldn't stop calling or texting her. He's obsessed with her. People like Multiplex never stop. They go after your family and friends. Even when they're not physically present, they make sure every moment of your life revolves around them. When you least expect it, they reappear to strike again. Professor Zoom nearly killed Batman once. Flash will never forget how Bruce's near-lifeless body looked in the Batcave. What if one day Reverse Flash targets Hal Jordan? Barry slips into a mental crisis. Hal tries to talk to him, but Barry doesn't respond. His crisis is interrupted by what he sees, a massive number of Multiplex duplicates. An angry Danton asks Barry why he stole his girl. He doesn't want to be alone. The Multiplex duplicates start their attack. Barry realizes there are too many of them, and his distracted mind isn't letting him fight properly. Switching to Wally, he's just finished a run to bring Iris home. She asks what he's doing, and he says he just wanted her to be safe. Iris is tired of people treating her so delicately. She thought keeping the truth about her father hidden would protect him, but it only made things worse. Wally says they need to talk about her father, Daniel West. Iris knows Wally has been worried ever since becoming Kid Flash, but she assures him he'll never be like her father. Daniel was a monster when he was Reverse Flash. As they're about to enter the house, they're shocked to see Professor Zoom sitting on the couch. He says there's only one Reverse Flash. Back to Flash. Barry wishes he could say that Multiplex ruined his party, but everyone knows the party was already a disaster because of Barry. Flash tells Hal that to beat Multiplex, they need to find the original. He mentions he's not even sure if there's an original anymore since Multiplex can create endless copies of himself. Barry's mind isn't stable, and he's still thinking about Iris. She threw him a party, and he treated the guests rudely. Plus, Iris accuses him of being a liar, and she's right. She knows Barry is hiding something from her. Barry isn't sure if he can keep lying to the woman he loves. Returning to Reverse Flash, he had been waiting for Iris and Wally at home. The professor tells Iris it's good to see her again, so young and full of life. Wally urges his aunt to run, but she refuses to leave him alone. Before she can escape, Reverse Flash is already waiting outside the door. The professor explains that in his time, he was an expert on all things Flash, but that has changed for several reasons. He knows who all of Flash's protégés are. Iris is on the ground as Wally attacks Reverse Flash. The professor easily deflects the attack and says Wally is the new Kid Flash. Wally is proof that Flash's history was altered while Reverse Flash was recovering. Because of this, Professor Zoom has many questions about what else has been reset. He hopes Wally can help fill in the blanks in the timeline. The three present have all been affected by the same man, Barry Allen. He's impacted their lives with his bad decisions. Iris pulls out a phone to call for help, but Reverse Flash grabs and destroys it. The professor is about to attack her, intending to hurt Barry through his loved ones. Wally transforms into Kid Flash and declares that if it's pain Zoom wants, he'll be the one to deliver it. The professor had been waiting for him to transform and asks what kind of Kid Flash he is. Back with Hal Jordan, he mentions that for every clone of Multiplex he defeats with his ring, 5 more appear. He asks Barry if he's had any luck finding the original. Meanwhile, at Iris' house, Reverse Flash is beating Wally. He lands a powerful knee strike. Flash asks Hal for a second to find the real Multiplex. Reverse Flash continues his assault, with Iris helplessly watching. The professor taunts Wally, asking if he's always this impulsive or just lost in Flash's shadow. Back to Barry. He realizes he must treat Multiplex copies like evidence in a crime lab to find a pattern. Observing quickly, he concludes that all the duplicates are focused on Hal, except for one. That one is targeting someone else. Using his speed, Barry finds the real Multiplex and lands a powerful blow to his chest, followed by a lightning strike from the Speed Force. This cuts the connection between the original and his copies, ending the battle. Hal acknowledges Barry's quick thinking. Switching back to Wally, he's badly injured. Reverse Flash explains how the Speed Force heals Wally's injuries at inhuman levels. However, Zoom cruelly breaks Wally's knee again, causing him to scream in pain. Iris finally takes a stand and hits Reverse Flash with a rod. The professor is surprised, commenting on how, despite everything her father and brother put her through, she allowed someone like Flash into her life. Iris is confused, not understanding what he means. Zoom realizes Iris doesn't know the truth about Barry. Back with Hal Jordan, he tells Barry that he didn't know he was dating Iris. Barry explains he couldn't tell him since they hadn't seen each other since the Darkseid War. Hal asks what's going on between them. Barry says Iris doesn't know he's Flash. Hal points out that Barry has never been good at keeping secrets, especially when dating someone whose job is to investigate. As they talk, we see Multiplex being transported to Iron Heights prison. Multiplex asks for someone to accompany him, but a guard in the van welcomes him to Black Hole, indicating it's not over for him yet. Barry confesses to Hal that if any of his enemies find out about his relationship with Iris, they'll use it to hurt him, just like Professor Zoom did with his mother. Hal says he's seen Barry face hordes of parademons with a smile, but has never seen him this scared. Barry is worried about what will happen if he tells Iris the truth. Hal advises him that fear can make you do things you regret. The simplest solution is to tell Iris the truth and let go of the fear. Barry argues it's not that simple. Hal hasn't had to deal with a relationship like this. Hal admits he's no expert in relationships, but says people tend to live by two philosophies. Some believe life is short, while others believe life is long. He asks Barry which one he believes in. Barry reflects that when his parents were his age, they were already married. Hal counters that when his father was Barry's age, he was already dead. Hal prepares to leave but tells Barry that if he ever needs help, he just needs to look at the stars. As Hal departs, Barry thanks him for coming to his birthday. Knowing how much time Hal's duties as a space cop and dealing with the Sinestro Corps must take, Hal reminds him that life can be short or long. Barry recalls a lesson from his childhood. His father gave him a watch engraved with the words, "Every second is a gift." Recent events had made him lose sight of that, but Hal's words helped him remember. Today is the day to make things right. Barry takes off his Flash suit and goes to Iris' house. Upon entering, he finds Wally gravely injured on the floor. Wally tells him the Speed Force is trying to heal him, but something feels off. Barry asks where Iris is. Wally says Reverse Flash left him a message. Barry turns to see a wall with a blood-written note. "You know where I live?" Barry dons his Flash suit again and rushes Wally to Star Labs. The doctors there, with knowledge of the Speed Force storm, should be able to monitor his recovery. After that, Barry plans to go after Professor Zoom. From the message, Barry deduces he won't need to look for Zoom in a place, but in another time. In the 25th century, Reverse Flash arrives with Iris. She demands he let her go, calling him crazy. Zoom tells her she knows him better than she thinks. After all, they shared a history together. If she doesn't remember, maybe what he's about to do will help her recall. Reverse Flash grabs a man and kills him by phasing his hand through his head. Iris, horrified, starts crying and tries to escape, but Zoom catches her. He says seeing her again makes him happy, especially since it seems he's been given a second chance too. Iris asks what he wants from her. Zoom responds that he wants to give her a gift to help her remember a past life where he killed her.